they still want to use that one, or would have gone for that one. It's a bit of a takeaway, but also for how short range Isurus is, even though, like, it's not, sometimes you do it into champions that have insane auto attack, like you put it on a Vayne and she 3 caps for support or something like that, if you're able to land the Renata ult. You don't quite have that power on Isurus' side, but they are short range, so if you can land that big hostile takeover, make everyone start hitting each other. As we see Zilean's support, is that a Flex Arena I smell coming in?
Hang on a second.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Okay.
It could have been Sett, but there's no way it's Zilean top. So it is indeed Zilean support.
This is Zilean support. Maybe Leblanc support with the chains. Who knows? I doubt it, though. One thing I'd say is that when I was taking my notes for Isurus, is I eventually just stopped trying to write all the champions that they play and just said lots of one.
Lots of one.
This is 100% up their alley. Okay, Sett support.
Oh, we're doing
Zilean
it.
top. It is
We're
actually
doing it. Let's go, ADD.
Okay, so was he the one doing it? Someone was telling me in Champions Queue someone was doing Zilean top. It might have been him, actually.
Dude, he's like Teemo into Aatrox, so that was what I was hoping for.
Someone was telling me that they were doing that kind of old Zilean top cheesy where you go like Spell Thief type thing and call and you just go like...
Oh!
I don't know exactly what it'll have to do with this.
Okay,
we'll keep an eye on it.
Zilean top, big pog.
Zilean top, big pog. Sett support, also pog. This kind of matches the identity of Isurus. They are willing to take weird champions, slam them all over into the roles. They've played huge amount of champions across summer, more than most teams at Worlds. And so this is something you always have for them. One, it's exciting. Two, it's an X factor to try and prepare your draft for. I don't think anyone's prep had this coming at them. So very surprising. See if they can pilot this comp. It should be pretty difficult. Like in theory, it's you dive in and that's great, but Sett going in, Hecarim going in, combo with the Zilean ultimate, make sure you're rezzing the right target. You're not pulling him out of Kalista. Sometimes it happens if the support with Kalista is getting the res, but then you pull him out, you're like, oh, that was a waste. And you do have to have good communication to make sure your engages are clean.
I mean, I expected some wildness in draft. Saigon Buffalo actually looking very steady.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be double crazy drafts, and then they're like, nah, let go front to back.
All right, well, as a reminder, link your league account with Prime Gaming if you would like to receive some free stuff. Feels pretty good. If you're a primer out there, I know there's a bunch of you in the chat.
I heard drops were good yesterday. I don't know.
Yeah?
I saw a lot of people tweet about like, hey, getting a lot
of
long
day, that makes sense.
That's why we really appreciate the pauses. There we go. One thing that is a little different about the top Zilean versus the mid Zilean is it doesn't give you quite that 2v2 power that you sometimes see when it's like Zilean Olaf, Zilean Zin, Zilean Hecarim, these kinds of things where you are able to speed him up and get him across the map, making plays happen, getting Skeletrap control even on just for movement. Top lane is just by nature a more isolated lane, and so it doesn't quite play the exact same way, but I'm sure by the time you're grouping up as team fights, it will go the same way. Zilean, first strike, yeah, this is exactly what I thought. It's kind of like this gold collector. He's not going call yet, does start actually with D-Ring, but yeah, this is 100% makes sense in the matchup. Melee into range, you have that kind of ability to proc first strike at will as long as you're not getting tippered. Hasmed, though, starting the lane on the right side. First strike proc, oh, they cut away.
All right, 2v2 because we got more issues potentially there. Jelly actually they popped Ignite already. Going for it at the level 1 here. Taki's in trouble, you better Black. But Gavotto in trouble as well. Shogun, flush it in! 2 for 2, baby, that's first blood again. For the Saigon Buffalo bot lane, and it might be second blood as well. Jelly trying to fight his way out, but he's painted into a corner. Flash is there. He fights his way out and gets the kill, though. It's carnage in the bottom lane.
Oh, I saw that one coming when they stacked on top of each other. I knew that Eon Sett would be coming back available. He had his flash the whole time, so ends up being a trade still in favor of Saigon Buffalo. First off, hold on, we're not done yet.
Froggy in trouble, has to flash out of the way. Oh, beautiful pullback there. That's an easy kill. Seiya getting set up by Grell.
You can hear the crowd getting into it. The early action gank mid from Grell coming from top lane. Nice 2v2, or excuse me, 2v1 in the mid lane gank early. Here, Jelly, really good job of hitting Taki and then running into a position to get the stun using the creep that leashed onto him there to actually make sure they lock up the Renata. And here, just a little bit off the damage on the E-Ren there, meaning Taki doesn't drop. Shogun would have gotten the trade kill back anyways. And fortunately for Jelly, able to play this one well enough that when the range, oh, I don't have to talk about anything.
Oh, BJ, hello. You're in a very interesting situation. Yeets on out of their phase rush. Giving him the boost with the flash to get on out of there.
Yeah, managed to flash the wall before the Hecarim E came through. So Hecarim's E is always a funny coded ability. Once the dash starts, you will take that knockback no matter what, but it is delayed until you actually get the distance close. So you can flash out of it and still get kind of pushed around. As we see maybe a moment to talk about this game.
Love to hear the crowd already cheering, chanting, whatever's going on. They love it. Isurus up 2-1 early on. Sett, by the way, did receive a buff among many champions.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, that W.
That handshake lining up the true damage on the Haymaker, actually landing onto Taki because of that one. I was trying to say that for Saigon, at least the bot lane is going in their favor. The scaling matchup of Renata and Aphelios. The fact that you got the first blood onto the Aphelios was going to be advantageous. The fact that they stayed in lane, got the extra XP, that's much better. But you think Isurus is just going to let them lane bot lane? No way. No way.
Absolutely not. As I was saying, the buff from memory was actually Facebreaker's slow getting buff. So if you don't get a stun, if you can't pull 2 people in or a person in a creep, you are a little bit better, which does kind of just increase the fire rate, I suppose, for Sett E. But obviously, Jelly been very accurate so far. And where possible, you do want to get maximum value out of Facebreaker. Speaking of value, down the bottom side again, Jelly finds the stun, but Gavotto in trouble again. Jelly with a W just fighting his way out of there. It's going to go down to Shogun, though. And Taki is looking for the kill, but Gavotto is going to play back.
Yeah, the scrappiness in the bot lane, playing the 2v2 better. You could see the power of the Kalista and Sett. If they hadn't gotten such a good chunk onto Gavotto early on, he might have been able to get that little bit of extra damage in there and finish off Shogun, but it was too low to really contribute. It means that Jelly kind of gave his life up to make that play happen. That death down the bottom side, they might know there's a ward that just spotted out Grell, so you have BJ knowing that he's safe up here to take these away, put a little bit of pressure on ADD.
Might even have a bit more, but probably not, given the wave position. Ooh, ADD navigating, no, nice little bomb there. Another second bomb, actually. Good accuracy there on the Zilean. Obviously not the first time he's playing this champion, which is interesting for a top laner. But as you said, Isurus have a very expansive selection to choose from when it comes to their champion picks. Does get himself out of there, but BJ
incoming
with the longest con. Knows he's there now, gets the stun down. ADD actually might get something back here. He does get it! A 1v2 kill, and now Grell's in there, forcing Hasmed to dash away.
Zilean 1v2 outplaced, just zooms out of the change from Aatrox. One of the nice parts of that matchup is you're almost never going to get hit by that, and then gets the blue buff transfer, so he's going to have enough mana here to potentially set up a dive.
Yep, Grell's here as well. Hasmed does have the flash, but they're trying to bait it out here. The bomb combo setup is there. Hasmed flashes aggressively, and ADD does it again!
The Zilean top popping off, a double kill for him up there on the top side, gets the blue buff from BJ. After they tried to find that wall stun, kited it out, set up the re-dive from Grell. They had to play that one pretty dangerously, but they still managed to pull it off. The game's insane.
Maximum excitement. I was going to comment right before that happened. I'm glad it did. At 4 minutes and 30 seconds, we had 4 kills in the game. We're now at 6 minutes. We have 6 kills in the game. This is League of Legends. Very happy if this is the rate we're going at. And we did expect it somewhat. Saigon Buffalo are kind of a one-speed team.
Yeah.
Apparently Isurus are too.
I mean, both these teams are extremely scrappy. This is a great matchup to have here. The Zilean, obviously, stacking up the mana, has a pretty high mana cost if you're going to be Q spamming away the entire time. So makes sense. Grab the tier, grab the, what I assume will be Everfrost for the Zilean top. Same as you usually go in mid lane.
Grell also been very active on the Hecarim. Don't often see that many Hecarim ganks, but Grell's found some good angles. Been involved, not 6 just yet, but he isn't working his way there. Even going again onto mid, just trying to force Froggy away.
I mean, this is what I was kind of saying a little bit yesterday about how, yeah, you get to 6, you get your ult, that's a huge power spike for the Hecarim, but if lanes are getting scrappy, you can get behind people. The knockback itself is a good setup for ganks, and so you don't have to wait till 6. You saw the early level 3 and a lot of these other scraps coming through.
Jelly at it again. Taki taking some damage, ignites there. Jelly just punching his way out of the fight. Tries to get the redirect, love the effort, but not going to get it. Instead, Jelly now going to get ignited, and Shogun maybe going to shut it down. He wanted the kill on Kalista, it was a lot lower, but it isn't going to get either.
Yeah, tried to bait the Kalista in with that Q pass and got a little greedy, but they still won the trade.
Oh goodness, he's in there. Shogun going for Jelly, does get a beautiful little play actually. Flashes in for the ulti, forces Kalista away, and that leaves Jelly all alone.
All right, Saigon Buffalo's bot lane is the savior of the team right now. Things have not been going great top or mid, but here on the bot side, Shogun and Taki putting on a clinic despite how weird of a matchup they're having to navigate. They're doing a good job. Shogun stepping forward as they keep kind of going on to Taki as the target. You could see if, Jelly could get that flash W redirect. Hold on, no time.
Okay, it's unplayable. The matchup here in top side as maybe problematic, but again, we have Zilean ulti. We can keep on diving. There's the resurrect, but now Hasmed trying to fight his way out of there. Grell, though, back in the mix. ADD, though, now he's the one in the 1v2 getting outplayed as Aatrox is popping off. That blast gun is an absolute tragedy for Isurus, and Hasmed is still going, but Hecarim is far too speedy. Froggy gonna line it up, slow it down, and shut it down as Grell Tries to get to the safety of the Blast and Froggy lasers him in the back.
All right, things are starting to stabilize for the Saigon Buffalo. Topside play, you could see the idea behind it, but Grell, not 6 yet during that play, was not able to have any extra way of finding that kill, and Hasmed underneath the turret with 6, able to sustain, drain tank a little bit. Nice trade there by Seiya. But yeah, they turned around very quickly, not able to find that kill. It looked cute with the Resurrect and the bombs, but couldn't land quite enough of them.
Cleanses out there, Taki back in the mix. Shogun here firing away, very deadly, with the gun spinning around. But not enough there. Shogun still in a bit of a precarious spot here, but fights, of course, keep going. There's the Poppy ult kicking Seiya out of the mix, but BJ still gonna go down. Onslaught of Shadows finds one, gets the fear on the other end as well. And ADD still going on. It's Hecarim Zilean, baby. Hasmed, though, fighting out nicely. Seiya here, though, trying to complete the play. Froggy roaming up to defend. Ulti drop there onto Grell, but the damage isn't there. It's ADD now, caught in the gravity field, shut down by Hasmed. Seiya now finds the chain, but he cannot follow up.
All right, despite how rough the early part was for Hasmed, he's done a great job of surviving some of the attention up to the top side there. Nice skirmish at the Rift Herald initially to find the kill on the BJ. Did get the Rift Herald at least for BJ, so he's okay about that, but did go down the top side skirmish afterwards. And you can see what Grell was thinking. He's like, all right, I have Seiya coming to back me up. I have ABV here already. I should be able to get this trade onto him, but Viktor showed up and they were able to win it from there.
Yeah, Zilean ulti was up, I think. ADD was just looking at Grell more than the other side. Here's the Herald contest. Does go to BJ. Very nice ulti, but ooh, it just kicks Seiya out there. Can't find the rest of it, and that's going to be an easy kill. Flash there, forces the ult.
Yeah, and from here, Grell could back out, you know, just run south, but he thinks he can win this with the Zilean bomb on top of him, the challenging smite as well, but Hasmed just a little bit too much sustain coming through there, and the fact that Froggy is able to back it up. Grell forced out, and then ADD, no vision under turret where he was, just kind of throws a blind bomb there that put him right in range to get jumped on top of again. Overstepping a little bit, but gold lead now, 1.5k in the lead of Saigon Buffalo.
And all that gold translating very strongly into Shogun there, as you can see. Almost 4,600 gold. Wow, that is quite the difference. Gavotto near the bottom of the barrel alongside Jelly with just under 3k.
You hate to see your AD carry have less gold than the enemy support.
That is true.
That is a tough go of things. Fortunately, they have other carries, like Grell, and Seiya, and Zilean.
We're fine. Everything's fine. Gale Force, though, done under 10 minutes for Shogun. So is the problem for sure, which I think we already knew.
Yeah, I don't know. There will be the tools to deal with him. A double bomb with a, Hecarim charging in, Leblanc flying over the top. They have some tools to assassinate Shogun, but if they don't find ways on top of him, it's very scary. This is one of the advantages of the kind of standard draft that Saigon has gone for here.
BJ fighting Grell, winning right now, but Seiya going to turn the tides of that little 1v1. BJ, though, hovering towards the strong side of the rift. Bound back towards Taki and Shogun, and Shogun is just happily 1v2ing. Jelly, though, going to shut it down. That creep was barely there for long enough, but he found the play, and Jelly nabs the shutdown.
As soon as we start talking him up, Shogun makes an oopsie there, gets engaged on. Didn't even have to use the Kalista ult, and there's some of that CC from that Sett support at 6, pulling him back underneath the turret with the suplex. Finds that kill, gets the shutdown as well. The Sett picking up the kill, going to get pretty fed here.
Jelly got the moves.
Alrighty.
Good angle found there as Isurus once again. Top side here. This should be straightforward. 3v1. Zilean ulti at the ready. Onslaught of Shadows Poppy popped. And there's the shutdown. There's the resurrection. Grell picks up some gold.
Yeah, nice that you can just stay in the presence, in the dive with the Zilean ult on top of him. No need to try and juggle turret aggro, and finding that kill. That does give time for Saigon to move into the mid lane, though. Trying to get some turret plates down. BJ backing him up with Jelly. Clearing the wave with Haymaker. Still get the one turret plate. See if they drop the Rift Herald here. There it is.
Good bit of defense though from Jelly, doing what he can. As you mentioned, the Herald will be dropped, so Froggy will get a bit of extra gold here onto the Viktor. As Saigon Buffalo continue to play towards their strong side of the Rift, and Isurus, I guess, feeling the same here in the top side with Grell overloading now alongside Seiya a number of times.
Alrighty, so we are actually seeing the Leandries on the side of the Zilean.
Ooh!
So a little bit more damage focused. You can do either one. I personally find the Everfrost quite good. There's short-range targets available. I mean, it's not the shortest range composition where you need to like stuff a dive, which is when Everfrost feels its best, or when you're the one going in to get extra CC to lock people down. Those are kind of the two ideal Everfrost times, so I can kind of see the idea of preferring the Leandries here, given that, like, okay, am I really needing this to peel the Aatrox and the Poppy off me? maybe not. So I can see wanting more damage to try and blow up with your divers.
Good flash from Gavotto there.
Respecting that.
BJ's like, hello! So Kalista bails on out of there. Can't Fate Skull herself to safety, only Jelly. But looks like this will be the setup for the Dragon. A little late, but there's been a lot of fighting, so I can't really blame the teams who are still on a kill a minute right now.
Yeah, why do you want Dragon when there's another kill you can find in one of these lanes? Forget that.
Exactly. Dragon doesn't give you any, like, doesn't give you gold you can, like, tangibly experience, you know? Just gives you these little stats, whatever.
It doesn't show up on my KDA, that's
exactly.
the real problem.
That's true. Doesn't look good for the fans as Jelly goes berserk. Another ulti pop there, but no peek over there onto old Jelly. Instead, Saigon Buffalo going to look for another place. They are actually flashing there, though. I was a little scared of the incoming gravity field plus extra damage.
Yeah, one of the funny things that happens with LeBlanc when you end up on swapping sides of where you're being aggressive from can't actually take your distortion back. So I had to burn his flash to get out of that gravity field. Does disengage the situation, but leaves Saigon with control of the bot river. There is still plenty of wards, so they know that this is coming.
So much confidence, though. Walking in 2v2, now at 3v2 as Isurus trying to turn it back around. But Froggy, though, 1v1ing seiya. That's the clone, unfortunately, so not going to pick up the kill. But BJ's still alive. Shogun coming in to save the day. Finds the shutdown for even more gold.
Yeah, finds a shutdown. Hasmed also committed the teleport to help defend that play. Grell, I think, realized no way out, so tries to go in and finish off BJ, not able to do it. Leaves ADD in control for mid lane to defend that turret, but Shogun with alone time on this bot turret should be able to finally finish this one off after that fight.
And again, all the gold funneling in the right place for Saigon Buffalo. Been a back and forth game, but gold now up to almost 2,500, and overwhelmingly, that money belongs to Shogun.
Yeah, mostly the lead coming from this bot lane. We talked about how far behind the Kalista was. It's about 3,000 gold right now. We see this play yet again. No stun for it. That's what you're kind of talking about, not having anyone to bounce your E off of, hitting two people at once. So no lockup on Taki, who gets out of that situation. Grell's fear not putting him back in the fight. And then here, doesn't think there's any way out as a Hecarim, so he just tries to go in. Nice use of the TP there. A little bit of frustration showing on Isurus. Thinking that, you know, Grell could get that kill, not able to do it.
As a result, you can see Shogun still there, top of the charts as far as gold goes. Saigon Buffalo continuing to play high tempo, though, starting off the Herald. BJ is just everywhere. Saw him briefly on the bottom side in the replay. Now he's back at the top side, having some trouble because ADD is a problem. He's going to get the kill, and that should be the Herald for themselves as well.
Oh man, BJ having a bit of a rough game here. 3 deaths already, caught out in the river away from the rest of his team again, who have gotten mid priority during this time. Shogun will grab his second turret, just keep getting gold in his pocket, but
Grell? Okay, we're fine.
He's got the Zilean ult.
True.
Can maybe bait Saigon into walking forwards.
Doesn't have his ulti back up just yet, but it's not too far away. Rank 2 ulti for the Zilean as well. There's a little bit of extra, which is always nice. Recalling in a tricky spot. We're fine. Taki not able to cancel that recall, and Isurus still poking around here in mid, but again, if you can't find a good angle onto the Aphelios, there is no fight to be had. Shogun's gonna just destroy you right now.
Yeah, they do have most of their ults available, though, for whenever the next big fight wants to break out. Might be over this Rift Herald, though it looks like Isurus is backed off. They're showing up now. Seiya does have TP to contest, but they're a little slow to make it here.
Yeah, ADD trying to get a bomb there, get some damage down, but it's pulled forward enough that that poke doesn't land. Instead, the Herald goes to Saigon Buffalo, and they back away slowly.
Yeah, so they do get the teleport out of Seiya. That does give them control and mid priority. We'll see if they try and grab this turret or just want to try and force this fight.
BJ learning on the fly, does not walk into the shoulder part of the choke point. Isurus are invading and they're trying to find someone poking around a little too long, but no silliness there from Saigon Buffalo. A little bit of discipline there as they retreat from that objective, and Hasmed, even with the solo time on top, gets the tower as well.
Yeah, Saigon Buffalo showing a little bit better fundamentals over the course of this game as well. Not just in terms of the bloodiness, yes, that's been back and forth. Better CSing across the board for them. All members of their lanes up in gold from just the CS as well. And then that macro there, being able to get the teleport out with Isurus contesting late, still getting back to mid lane without having to lose anything, giving them the rope-a-dope a little bit, and finishing off the top turret on the tail end of that. So now they have jumped out to a 4,000 gold lead with this comp that should, in theory, be scaling better. Hecarim and Zilean obviously scale extremely well. You do always have that, and I will say that Grell, at least, there's been a lot of conversation about how to build Hecarim online. Have you been following any of the people on Twitter or anything like that? no one has been happy for most of the Hecarim builds thus far. I know some people don't like Sunderer at all, but with the new Bruiser identity, they at least want you to go a little bit more damage. Some people want Triforce as well as going for the Muramana, but at least he is grabbing that one. With the extra defenses tools available in the Zilean, that makes sense a lot. So we'll have high threat in this when he goes diving in.
Yeah, which you need, right? Zilean, I mean, we'll do a bit more damage than normal because it is Leandre's for ADD instead of the Everfrost as you talked about earlier. But obviously, Grell going to be a threat as the game goes on. Not quite level rank 2 ulti, unfortunately. Level 10, not 11, but Grell's still going in again. All the tools are there, all the ults are up, we're ready to go. It's lots of flashes available on both sides as well. Now that Rift Herald just kind of fades into the...
The problem that they're having is they don't have any true front line, so if you don't have a good flank or you're not catching Saigon by surprise, you're running through Viktor lasers, you're running through some poke potentially from Shogun as well. And so Grell, with no tankiness really built up yet, does not have a good time charging into that, even though you do have the revive. You don't want to be half health by the time you actually ult in. And same with Jelly on Sett. While he has gotten 2 kills, you know, you're still not really a true tank in that support position.
What the vision it looked like there for Saigon Buffalo. Doing a poke on in, so Isurus kind of thieve away the dragon. As Ocean Rift is our Rift. Also, Saigon Buffalo maybe just thinking, you know what, Hasmed, you have teleport. You're a solo time on the tower. Might as well get that instead. Open up the game a bit more. The gold is very valuable. Also selfishly for the Aatrox.
Very respectful.
Saigon Buffalo know they're ahead. Yeah.
Very respectful to pop his ult. Just running out there saying, I do not want to keep this game being this scrappy. Not liking it. Saigon also stacking that dragon to your point. They know they have a scaling advantage. They know they're up gold. 4 turrets to 0. With all this CS, they know they're in a very comfortable position, and in their mind is, yeah, let's not go face check the enemy team here to fight over a random Cloud Dragon. We absolutely do not need this. I like that decision there. Slowing the pace of the game down. It was an insane early game. You and I could barely keep up with it. We can take this moment to breathe now. Saigon, with this position, in a good situation to look to go 2-0 up into this group here in Group B. Being one of the teams that people have their eye on when it felt pretty up in the air. I think a lot of people assumed RNG was going to be the #1 team in that group. They did get taken down yesterday. There was a big debate. Was GRX slept on? Did RNG ego draft? What's exactly the situation in this group? Mad Lions also at 2-0 as well. Means that there's a lot of potential for some topsy-turvy stuff to go down in Group B if RNG lose on later today to Mad Lions and Saigon sitting at 2-0, Mad at 3-0, you know, and DRX potentially at 2-0 as well. Like, there's a lot of potential for some crazy stuff to happen in Group B.
Which, that's very exciting. Chaos injected into groups, always a good time. As Baron has been looked at and swiftly taken off of there for Saigon Buffalo. Had a little poke around, maybe just trying to clear some vision. Do have control of that right now. Seiya poking in onto Shogun. Good target to try and find. That handshake was absolutely bonkers, though. And Taki grabs the kill for his trouble. Grell gonna get slain as well. Hostile takeover does grab one. Gavotto in trouble. Jelly goes back. Has to make the play happen, but Shogun flashes out to safety. A double kill. It's going to be another, but Jelly making moves. Does get one back. But still, 4 kills there for Saigon Buffalo.
Shogun's an absolute monster going in there, forcing them to go commit everything to finish him off. Yes, they finally get that kill, but it costs 4 members of Isurus just to find him and finish him off. The early Bloodthirster coming up big there for him, making it so it's so hard to punch through his health bar. Not a super clean punish by Isurus there. Now, without Shogun, a little slower to do this Baron. Looks like they won't actually be able to do it against the Zilean bomb spam. So, not the end of the game there, but another monstrous performance out of Shogun and Taki, who I think were very impressive at the MSI tournament and kind of picking up where they left off on the international stage here. Seiya getting pulled back by Taki, getting that kill. Grell does get this nice knockback, but there's just no follow-up there, so he just gets obliterated. Then Shogun has all these chakrams stepped up. Gavotto has to turn to make sure they don't actually drop down. They're able to get this damage down and kill him, but it's cost literally everyone. Jelly has to flash forward for the Haymaker to actually get that kill.
Impressive stuff there. Shogun playing at light speed in that replay as well. So fast to just flash in, knowing the situation. And that gold, as you mentioned, still climbing further and further up there for Saigon Buffalo. About 6k up now, and that's without that Baron, which obviously is going to be top of mind for both teams at this stage. Did need Shogun to complete it, but Shogun now even walking in, just starting the objective. Sure.
Yeah, looks like they want to go for it. There were a fair amount of flashes committed by the enemy team where they have most of theirs except Shogun. So maybe they think that with the zone control of the Viktor and whatnot, they can start this out, force a fight.
Yeah, pulling off instead. Froggy getting good damage down to ADD. Does pop the Chaos Storm. I like threatening the Zilean, want to try and get the ult out at an awkward time if you can. It's like I'm going to go ahead, revisit the objective and see if they can't bait Isurus back in once more.
See if they want to keep doing this dance around here.
All right,
just
now.
waiting for the Ocean Dragon to spawn in a minute. You can already see Shogun moving down to the mid bot lane, to grab that farm, then probably grab that red buff just in time for that neutral objective to spawn. Trying to get to his IE, checking the gold. Probably not going to get there in time for this dragon fight.
Doesn't look like it. 800 in the pocket right now as a little wraparound here in the mid-outer on the table for Isurus. No vision here. BJ doesn't mind face checking as a general rule.
There's no brush that BJ fears.
Doesn't seem to. I mean, Poppy's not a bad champion to face with either. Is rallying back with a couple folks on his side, so not too bad as Saigon Buffalo just navigating around, but it is Isurus to have the inside track on this next dragon. Long range snipe there onto ADD. Could have had a route from the gravity gun, but instead Saigon Buffalo walk menacingly towards Isurus around this objective as Hasmed's finding the flank.
Yeah, but Froggy's landing some good poke. Multiple members of Isurus already put down to around half health. Jelly might join them here.
Here we go. It is Jelly finding Hasmed. Hasmed gets out of there, knows he has to flash. Jelly was ready with a suplex, but does not pop it. BJ though in front, Grell low there. Damage still being poked, and ADD already burnt the ulti. Damage almost there. The ulti's actually not going to go. It does tick down. That's actually pretty good, but Jelly now in trouble. Gavotto in trouble as well, and there's just nothing left for the fight. ADD may live, but the rest of his team's going down, down, down. As it's not even going to happen. BJ going to chase him all the way down. Doesn't need to be on the objective. Grell's going to go down as well. And Saigon Buffalo going to collect the aces. A very aggressive Renata ulti. And the burnout's going to at least give Grell a kill.
Taki was trusting in Shogun to get that kill to bail him out in time. Not able to do it, so drops at the end of that fight, but still an ace for one kill. Saigon Buffalo continuing to extend their lead on the tail end of this fight. Just Isurus took so much poke damage from the Viktor during this time, as well as Jelly getting chunked out here. Yes, Hasmed has to flash, but honestly, you've already blown everything off Jelly anyway, so he's super low. This nice snipe hitting only ADD. You see, he understands that here comes the Q follow-up, so he has to go ahead and drop his own ult on himself. Burns down, but that means during that time, there's no one else that Zilean can be resurrecting, and not able to actually get any utility out there. As well as the fact that the bombs early on were barely doing any damage to BJ, who was just tanking them, kind of showing why the damage Zilean build is not always the highest prioritized. And Isurus fans in the audience seeing the hopes and dreams of this game falling away from them slowly.
It looked good for a while, but this gold lead is almost insurmountable. 9,000 gold ahead for Saigon Buffalo. My goodness.
Yeah, almost 2 full items on Shogun over Gavotto. Finished off the IE, working on whatever Zeal item he's going to choose to go here. And he is the only carry Saigon need. As long as they keep him up, he will deliver them this game.
They're just doing Baron. BJ's gonna kill the control ward just in time. So gonna again blind them once again, but it's just here. Froggy's fighting Seiya. They know the fight's happening. Shogun needs to live, but it looks like he will. Jelly trying to find the engage. He's going as deep as humanly possible. Pulled out by the Fate's Call, but Hasmed back over the top is going to make it sing. Takes the kill on Jelly. Rest of the team's going to move on in there. Resurrect's going to happen, but you're under the gravity field. There's no way out for ADD, and they might not even need the Baron mark. Saigon Buffalo winning fight after fight.
3 dead on the side of Isurus. Shogun untouched. I don't even know if they broke through his Bloodthirster shield over the course of that fight. They're going to grab the Baron, just 3 men, while the rest of them start getting the waves pushing in their favor. You have Froggy up on the top side, getting this wave going for them already. Grell doing what he can, shoving out the mid wave, but Baron goes over to Saigon.
And Grell is maybe going to get, not even the delicious objective bounty in the mid-outer. Oh, goodness, we are teleporting extremely aggressively.
A little late to be able to find the cutoff.
Let's go!
We take those.
We certainly do.
At this point for Isurus, you absolutely take those. Here's this fight. The idea of they need to get on top of Shogun. Jelly misses the stun on him when he flashes in, then kind of ults him away from his team, so there's absolutely no follow-up there. Has to run back to Gavotto to pick him up. Like we said, Shogun not even losing his Bloodthirster shield.
Once again, we are fighting to the shock of absolutely no one as Grell's trying to get out of there with the onslaught of shadows, but Taki lines it up. That was very cute. Little heroic charge into the handshake, gets the kill as Hasmed's on a rampage, takes out Jelly. And Saigon Buffalo just hitting them with the wallet at this point. They are so far ahead, and they're playing like it.
Yeah, they hit him with the hands in the early game. They're hitting him with the wallet in the late game. Much better performance by Froggy. Absolutely not the star of the show here. It would go to Shogun, who's probably going to pick up player of the game for this one. No surprise, but good bounce back after that Zach performance, which, you know, while they did pick up the win, didn't look that incredible. Here on the Viktor, very stable in the mid lane, surviving that Leblanc matchup. We've seen how dangerous that matchup can be, but he did absolutely fine weathering that storm. Only death coming at, I think, that really early gank by Grell. It was like level 2 or 3, and outside that has been just fine.
Yeah, I didn't have Zilean in my list of possible Aatrox counters. I did like a lot of what happened. Isurus doing nicely in the early game, especially towards subset. Even the husband also survived well, but this is kind of the end of it all. Grell's gonna get ulted, but he can't really dive back in. Shogun's dominating. My goodness, Aphelios might be on track for the Penta. 3, 4, 5, give it to me! There we go, baby! That's a pentakill for Shogun!
16, 2, and 6 from Shogun. He has dominated Isurus from the start of the game till the end, and with that, they are gonna be up 2-0 in their group. Saigon Buffalo looking good so far in World.
Our bot lane is awfully spicy. And the rest of the team's looking nice as well. Saigon Buffalo, a different draft, a bit more standard, perhaps a more meta look, but still very fun.
Very, very fun game. Isurus has some very cute ideas that were seeming to work in the early game, but over the course of it, the superior mechanics, superior macro for Saigon Buffalo came through. And Shogun in particular, man, he got that one early lead and just ran with it. Most kills of World so far this year. Upset got 14, I think it was, yesterday. And everyone was like, will anyone top this? Will anyone get more than 14?
Will anyone get a pentakill?
Give it a day.
Yeah.
Give it a day. There's a second pentakill. There's a second, you know, double-digit kill game here up to 16. My God, Shogun put on a performance.
I wish I had him now as my, I think there is a pick him for most kills.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are like, ooh,